Hey everyone, my name is Stella Musinski and I just moved here from the East Coast. Boy, I'll tell you what, I just got pulled over by a police officer yesterday. He says to me, you know why I pulled you over? I says, I don't know, I just looked up from my phone and there you were. Boy, I gotta tell you what, tickets are expensive, man. Gee, I went home and I had myself a quarantini. A quarantini is just like a martini, only you drink it in the privacy of your own home. Well, how do you think I look? You like my hat? Woohoo, the guys are still checking me out and I'm 63 years old. They're all over 75, but hey, they're still looking at me. Oh man, I gotta tell you about my neighbor that lives next door. She's about to drive me nuts, man. She's really into this recycling stuff, but she goes overboard. She's got 3 of these big blue recycling bins in front of her house. One night I went out there and I looked to think, what does she have in there? Yeah, you know what I learned? My next door neighbor's an alcoholic. Anyway, stay tuned for the Lezlie Show. We got on here Mr. Clive Grey, and we're gonna learn all about construction. All right, stay tuned for the Lezlie Show. Bye now. Well, hi, and welcome to the show, Clive.
Thank you, Lezlie.
It's good to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, Mr. Clive Grey is going to tell us today all about new things in construction, the new tools they're using, all the new things that are different from back in the day. So, first of all, what I'm wondering is, what do you notice is one of the biggest changes in construction right now?
The biggest changes is actually the technologies and the materials themselves. And the best example would be showers, because I'm an old school guy from back in the 70s when I first started, and we were hacking away at concrete and lath and lead and copper and asbestos and all kinds of dangerous materials. And nowadays, it's basically high-tech materials. For example, it's stuff that you make ice chests out of, right? You wouldn't think of that as being a solid material, but it's actually a structural material, and they actually build houses out of it now. And so that is the substrate for showers, and they have some kind of new paint, Schluter systems out of Sweden that it's bright red. It looks really ugly until you put the stuff on it. But I have some pictures I can show you later of showers and whatnot that actually have hidden drains. They've gotten rid of the shower doors. Instead of 1 shower head, now we have 6 to 8 shower heads. We just did one that's a steam shower. It's totally self-enclosed. It's a steam room and a shower.
Oh.
Pretty expensive. I couldn't afford it. You know, in fact, it's funny. In the day, I am now at the point where I can afford my own work. How ironic is that? You know. But now am I old enough? I'm too old to care. I don't know. But
How much would it cost to put a new bathroom in with one of these showers?
Well, that really ranges. You know, when I first started, you could do a shower easily for $3,500.
Oh.
This latest shower that we're looking at, unfortunately, had a contractor. Well, I don't think he was a contractor, but we won't go too deep into that. But we have to tear it out because it's 3 years old and it has some serious mold issues. But we're looking at a minimum about $20,000 nowadays to do a shower.
That's just the shower. That's not the full bathroom.
Well, no, that's just the shower, but that's a tile shower.
Okay.
Now you can get a prefab. You can get a fiberglass unit and knock that out for under $5,000.
Okay.
Okay, it depends what you're in the market for. You know, I had rentals in my previous life, and for those, fiberglass shower, get it in there, make it work, leak-proof, right?
Right.
But nowadays, if you know, like I say, we do high-end showers, which means tile and new materials. For example, granite was really in for a long time on kitchens. The problem with granite is it will fracture if you drop a pot on it on a grain line. Marble, which a lot of people use, is terrible. If you put a lime on or spill wine, it'll stain. The new stuff is called quartzite, and they actually crush the quartz, remanufacture it, and make it look like marble. In fact, I just did that on my kitchens. It's not done yet. We did it in the last 3 jobs. And it's beautiful because it has no grain, so it doesn't fracture, and it doesn't stain. It's Clive-proof.
I know. My daughter's building a house, and we have granite in our house. We put the granite down 20 years ago, and the granite is, like you said, it's chipping.
Yes.
When I go to wash it, some of the stones or the granite starts falling apart.
Right,
and that's what I was told, that the new thing now is the quartz.
Yes, well, it's actually quartzite. Quartz is an actual product. Quartzite is a manufactured product. And when you manufacture it, they put epoxy resins in it, so you don't have grain lines, you don't get fracture points.
Okay.
And then again, like painting and everything else, the most important thing in your construction is the procedure or the preparation. In this case, the substrate. If it's not perfectly flat and level, and you try to secure that to it, it might fracture the product. But if your preparation is in proper, you're good. And what's nice now is I tell everyone it has a lifetime warranty and go, what does that mean? I said, well, that's my lifetime. Because when I'm dead, I'm not fixing it. So, that's pretty much a lifetime warranty,
Well,
right?
you'll be around another 50, 100 years, so that's a pretty good warranty,
Well,
right?
with technology, could be. I have a lot of artificial parts in me nowadays. And thank you to modern science, right? You wouldn't know I'm 100, would you?
No, boy, you got a good facelift there, I'll tell you. Well, let's talk about cabinets too. Do you do cabinets, and what
I
color,
do.
what type of wood are in as far
Well,
as the
I'm a
cabinets go?
cabinet builder, and I also design and build furniture.
Oh.
But the cabinets, it's interesting. In the old days, they were all painted. Okay, so they were primarily pine or Douglas fir, and then they proceeded into oak became the big thing. Everybody
Yes.
wanted oak.
And I've got oak, and I'm so tired of the oak.
And we all are. I've torn out more oak than I've installed.
Well, see, that's what I was wondering. Do you need to actually tear the cabinets out, or can you repaint them, or how does that work?
Well, you have options. Oak is the worst to paint because the grain is so heavy. And when you paint it, you can still see the grain, so you need grain fillers and whatnot. So nowadays, on that type of kitchen, we're just doing the cabinet doors and face frames. And what we do is we veneer over the face frames or putty them in, and then what I can do is actually order doors made up through companies in Los Angeles for less than I can buy the lumber.
Oh.
And nowadays, people want high-end stuff. They want maple, they want cherry. Real cherry is very expensive, so they do mimic cherry. But cherry is a lifetime process. I did kitchens in the 80s that are cherry and stainless steel, and they still hold up today. And the classic look is a flat panel door, shaker
flat
style.
Oh, okay.
They had raised panel, which dates it. Actually, if you look at all the 80s, 70s, and 80s, they all have raised panel doors.
Yeah.
But if you look at the flat panel, they're timeless from the shaker period. And the Japanese have always said, simplicity is beauty. And it's true.
Right.
Less clutter, simpler designs, and it lasts through time. And so we always recommend the flat panel. If you want to go the other route, that's fine, but it's your kitchen.
Okay.
So in cabinets, that's timeless. And then cabinet construction is important. A lot of them now are particle board, which with us, we won't do that. We do plywood, cabinet grade plywood and solid woods. Although solid woods, I did a one out of quarter sawn oak, which is a craftsman style for a client. But the cabinets are so heavy. In fact, we just built a cabinet for a client in Pismo. It was 10 feet tall, 4 feet wide, 2 feet deep, and weighs about 325 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And as I said, fortunately, my partner has a strong back.
Yeah, you need a strong back.
But that one was entirely made out of poplar because poplar receives paints very well. That's the substructure on most of your furniture chairs is poplar because it's really strong, but it's not great for finishing because it kind of turns green and brown and weird colors. But it's a hardwood and it grows very fast, which is another good aspect of poplar.
Well, what colors are actually popular?
Amazingly enough, the whites and blacks.
Whites, and people are getting black cabinets too.
Yes, we just did a black cabinet,
Oh.
and it's a satin finished black cabinet. We hand painted all of them. But black and whites, especially with the younger crowd, the cooler colors are coming in. The grays, whites, silver, glass, stainless steel, very modern, very contemporary. Myself, I'm an old school guy. I like the earth tones. So as you can see, this is going in my kitchen. This is a beige, and it has greens and blues that bring out the seaside kind of effect, if you will, the ocean. It's the backsplash that's going to be for my counter, but I like the earth tones myself, but it's a personal choice. You have to like it. And when I tell people, when you're doing your kitchen or bath, they go, what's the resale on it? Screw the resale. Seriously, because you're going to enjoy it. In fact, my last home in LA, French country, I remodeled from one end and everything was brand new. People that moved in, first thing it did, trucks came in, started tearing stuff out.
But you're basically saying that it's not harder to sell if you do your own thing. Like I've always
within reason.
Okay.
Within reason.
I've always been told keep it neutral; it sells better. But
Well, it does. But the question you have to look at it is seriously, when do you plan on selling?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not clear in your mind, you think you're going to be there a long time. Do what you want, especially with paint colors. Paint's easy. You can repaint real easily.
I've always been a free spirit. I painted my kitchen bright red one day. I was just in a mood like, I'm feeling kind of dull today. I think I'll paint my walls. And my friends were like, you painted your kitchen bright red.
Yes.
But I got sick of it. It lasted a year and then back to the...
Exactly. You can always paint it out.
Yeah.
When you do the hardscaping or anything of tile and whatnot, you need to be a little more subtle with it. My countertops are they look like white marble with gold and gray veining.
Oh.
And that ties in with this. And this is a bit of... not that it's Mediterranean look, I guess would be what this is, but it ties in because my house is very modern.
Mm-hmm.
It was built in '98, and they had a very modern look to it. So.
Okay. Well, I heard that the peach colors are back in again. Is that right?
They're peachy.
Peachy orangey?
I came from those days of peach and blue, and God, it made me gag.
I remember that back, let's see, that was 70 years ago for me. I had a facelift too, so I look younger. No, but no, I do remember those walls.
Yes, indeed. But see, those are colors that come and go, and the traditional, as you say, are usually the muted colors.
Mm-hmm.
The light tans, the beiges, and then the grays, and the light blues, maybe a light celery green or something.
Mm-hmm.
But in generally speaking, but again, in your home, if you're going to live there, I mean, my home, I'm a little eccentric. I just built a greenhouse and it's got a bunch of bottles embedded in the wall and colored glass. And people say, it looks more like an art project. And I said, yeah.
And when you like it, that's what counts.
I do, and I'm an artist as well, and it puts a smile on my face. But on resale, when people walk up there, go, oh my gosh, how unusual.
Yeah.
It's,
something different.
It is, yeah. There's a lot of stone and glass in it, and it's pretty cool, I think.
What about floors now? What type of floors are in vogue?
The most common actually are the new laminate floors, and they're high-end laminate. I should get that straight because we've done a lot of wood floors. We've done like sapele, which is a ribbon mahogany, a little bit soft, but we do like Brazilian hardwoods and whatnot. But the new ones are the laminates of click and lock, and the strip vinyl is becoming really popular because it's a little softer than laminate. It doesn't have that click, click, click sound when you walk on it.
Yes.
And so we're converting that as the net current rage are the vinyl plank, they call them, because it looks like wood. They got much better. I remember the 50s paneling, 70s paneling, where they took a picture, glued it on a piece of wood, and it was hideous. But whereas now they stamped the grain into the wood. It's more of a random pattern, and it looks really good. But the laminate is huge because I put that in my studio. I have a yoga studio, and I put it in there, and it looks like wood until you walk on it. And you hear the little click sound and go, oh, okay, laminate.
Yeah.
So the vinyl is really the hot ticket right now. But we still do a fair amount of the laminate as well.
Okay, it's beautiful. It looks just like wood. You wouldn't even know that it is vinyl.
And the wood floors, I have a friend in Templeton, and it's called Jatoba, which is a Brazilian mahogany type thing, but very hard. Really good for floors. But, the flooring budget on that was $30,000, throughout the whole house. So, and click flooring would have been around $8,000.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because we want to remodel our house. We have a 2,400 square foot house, and we want to do new cabinets and new flooring.
Okay.
So what type of money would we be talking about for that?
Well, see, I can't say without seeing the project, quite frankly, because first of all, the prep, what's in there? Is there any water damage? Is the substrate sound? Many times we go into an older home and you rip up the subflooring and you find rot or mold or whatever you run into.
Oh, so it's a whole nother animal.
It is. And then you have to get into the flooring, and the flooring's all over the map, whether you go from laminate, which is fairly affordable, or into a solid hardwood, which is, like I said, you can go anywhere from $7,000 to $30,000 just on flooring.
Oh my.
And cabinets are the same thing. The question, you can go to IKEA and get a knockdown cabinet that looks pretty good, and they all have the new hardware, soft close hardware that have little pistons so the doors close slowly and you can't slam them, which is really cool. And IKEA is quite affordable, but it's 100% particle board.
Oh.
Okay, and that's how they keep it down. They're very heavy. They don't hold screws very well. but they sure look good when they go in, right?
Right.
But the longevity's not there.
I see.
So then you go to the hybrid, which is all wood fronts and then particle board back, so you can sit a little under there.
Okay.
And you can get that through Home Depot and through a lot of cabinet builders. We personally won't do any particle board.
Okay.
We do cabinet grade plywoods. If we use anything it's called MDF, which is medium density fiber board, which is sort of like super particle board. It's really tight, really compressed hard, holds screws better, and very stable for veneers. Because there are a lot of veneer products, and the problem is that the substrate's not totally stable, the veneer will start buckling on you.
Okay.
And with MDF, they've solved that problem.
Okay.
So I do that with a lot of high-end finishes when I do panels. I just did a bathroom vanity for a friend, and it was walnut, so we did walnut veneer panels with walnut trim.
Okay.
Came out very nice.
Okay.
But yeah, really, the price, if someone ever gives you a price without looking at it, you don't want to talk to them. I'm just being,
Yeah,
you know,
okay, I can get that.
They're guessing, and I guarantee if they come in and do the job, the bill's going to get higher.
We've done a lot of remodels. We've been through that animal before, where
Right.
they give you a price, and then there's another price because they said, oh, well, we didn't charge you for this, and then they charge
No.
for this, and then they keep adding, and it's a double of the regular price that they were telling you in the first place.
Right, and any contractor worth his salt is going to come in and know.
Right.
And you know, when we go in, we give you a flat price and say this is it. And we have a job where we agreed to move a camera as a side job, and Pismo found out we can't get a ladder to it, so we went and contracted a friend who's going to bring in a boom truck. We're going to eat that $350. We're not going to bill the client because we told them we knew what we were doing.
Right.
We should have looked a little closer at the camera, because the cameras aren't what we do. But the camera, that's what brought us in. Is the camera company ran giant wires all over the place. And we had to hide them. So we put in crown molding, built a giant cabinet to hide all the stuff, and then outside we had to relocate.
Okay.
So.
Speaking of crown molding, is that still in vogue right now?
It is, mostly, I only recommend it if you have tall ceilings.
Like over 9 feet tall?
Yes.
No, not on 8 feet? Because
No.
we have 8 feet, and I thought maybe that would make the ceilings look bigger, or taller, excuse me.
No, it actually does the opposit. It makes them look shorter.
Oh, it does?
Yes, it does on an 8-foot ceiling. Now, it dresses it up, but it encroaches on the space visually.
Even if the walls are white and you put white there, it still shrinks the ceilings?
Yeah, because what it does is what it makes you do is pay attention to the height of the ceiling.
Okay.
And if you have a tall ceiling, then it enhances that. But if you have a short ceiling, it enhances that as well.
I see.
Okay, if you can reach up and touch it, which you almost can on an 8-foot ceiling.
Right.
So, you know, if you do, make sure you do what they call a baby crown. That's a smaller crown, trims it out.
Okay.
And then also you need to look at your door frames and stuff. Does it fit in with them? Do you have streamlined moldings? What do you have going on there? Does it fight with the door moldings and the window casings?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it is. So what I tell people is if you're going to do that, paint those a different color, all your trim moldings, and see how much they pop on you. And you may not need crown moldings.
Okay, makes sense. Well, it looks like we're kind of running out of time here. Is there anything else you wanted to add? I know you mentioned that you did some unusual jobs sometime that you wanted to...
I have. One of the strangest ones was for a client who's my accountant, and he did a couple he liked disappearing stairways in his ceilings, and so we did some hidden rooms for him, so I can't give you the address. But we also did a folding stairway on top of his carport, because we built a solar building to store his records up there, and he had the heat regulated without any electricity or plumbing in there, so it was all solar, and then the stairway had to fold up so the kids wouldn't get up there and get into his building. So, and he's a wannabe engineer, so he designed this pulley system and put it all together, and it was a lot of fun. They're really bizarre looking.
Oh, I can just imagine.
But yeah, one of many. I've had a lot of unusual projects, and I enjoy the challenge. It's a lot of fun.
I bet. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add before we close here today?
No, I'm having fun. This is. But I could talk forever about construction, flowers, plants.
We'll have to have you on again, and you can talk about some of these other things that you do. It sounds like you're a multitask person.
I am.
A musician too, right?
Well, I'm a singer in a group. Yes, it's a hobby. It's a hobby, but we've been doing it 4 years, and in fact, we just played at La Bodega, and.
Well, I know this is a little off the subject, but what type of music do you do?
We do rock and roll primarily, but we just did a Valentine show for the Muscle Center in Santa Maria. And we're going to do I forget, we've done 4th of July shows for the Oaks and the Pomo, and so we do specialty shows. And then also I do an annual variety show before COVID where we bring in people and we actually put people on stage and we do magic shows and vaudeville stuff. And it's a lot of fun. Because I'm an amateur magician. So.
Well, you met your match right here. Our videographer is a
nice.
magician.
What's the name of your band?
Pardon?
The name of
the Monotones. And they say that's one note. Well, if we each sing one note, we got a harmony, right?
Oh, the Deltones was from the 60s, right?
Yeah. And so were the Monotones. There was a group called the Monotones, yeah. But I just came into my head, I think about stuff and I go, let's do that. You go, you can't do that. Oh, don't tell me that.
You're definitely an adventurous soul, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I mean, your reality is whatever you create, right? So let's all be happy. Let's do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We create our reality, I agree.
Indeed. I have a pretty cool one. Yeah. So.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, Clive.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thanks for being on the Lezlie Show.
My pleasure. All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.
This is a classic example of a new shower today where they use the large format tile rather than the little 4-inch squares or even the solid surface. Another thing that's been done here, on the soap dishes, you used to try to hide them or make them disappear. We chose to actually accent this one and make it a focal point of the shower, which makes it look like an art piece. Another thing you'll notice is we have actually 8 heads in this particular shower. One's a sliding arm, the rain shower, which doesn't splatter or hit you as hard, or the body sprays, all controlled by 2 temperature gauges on the wall. Another advantage of this is you may see in here, there's a little line in the back of the shower, which is this little line right here, and that is actually the drain. It's a hidden drain, and there's a little tool that lifts that entire row of tile out for cleaning. But what it means is the shower slopes to the back wall, and it has no curb, and you can actually walk into the shower with no curb or even get a wheelchair in there, as in this shower is the other shower in the same home. And you can roll right into it, and there's no shower door. And the other thing is they're all glass because we feel they're works of art, so we want to show them off in that manner. The other thing we're talking about is tiles. This is an an idea of small format tiles, which are mosaics. And we are using these a lot more for accent tiles and for backsplashes, as opposed to the Subway tile, which was really big, I think, after Subway came out. They're eating sandwiches going, oh, I like your tile. And then the other thing that we've been noticing I have pictures of, these are solid surface concept. This is actually a bathtub inside of a shell, and it's all done in solid surface. And this is the new stuff, which is the quartzite. And quartzite means that it's a material that looks like marble, but it's not, and it really holds up well. And these are examples of bathtubs that are done entirely out of quartzite. I had some in here. I labeled them here so I could find them. Here we go. This is called the waterfall feature, where the tile actually wraps the sides, so the whole unit looks like it's one giant block of stone. It's very impressive. Rather expensive, I must admit.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining the Lezlie Show today, and don't forget, don't let anyone take your mojo. Bye now.